Hey guys, thanks for joining me tonight. I wanted to do a quick video on my altoids tin, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what this is here. But I just got done doing a video on my everyday carry gear, and so I figured I'd just go ahead and include a separate video for this because it actually took so much, takes so much time to go through this. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through this. Now guys, this is not a standard size altoids tin, but it is a tiny bit bigger. It still fits in my pocket though. So if I'm in jeans, I'll keep it in my hip pocket. I have this super cool Mountain Man pouch here that I use pretty much so that I can wear it on my belt if I'm driving for, hypothetically I'm driving 8-12 hours today. I might just throw it on my hip and, that's good enough as opposed to having it in my hip pocket. But if cargo pants, it'll be in a pocket. Jeans, a lot of times it's still in a pocket, and occasionally I will use this super cool little pouch. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw that there. Okay guys, it's super ugly. It's different than the last one that I've shown you as far as the gear that's in it, but I will say that, a lot of the stuff is similar, but this is, I don't know, honestly it's just getting better and better, and this is what I'm rolling with right now. I've mentioned it before, guys. I don't care what my stuff looks like. To me, it's either functional in a short-term emergency or in, whether it's a natural disaster or backcountry emergency, whatever the case is. I'm out in a very remote area in the lower 48, and so I just have this with me. And it's more important to me that I have good quality gear than that I have cool looking gear. So if having stuff on the outside of your tin is an issue, then don't do it. But I feel like it's worth the squeeze to go ahead and have this here. I got all these Ranger bands protecting all my gear here, but those can be used for fire starting, for binding something together, whatever the case is. So I've got quite a few of them. It just protects my gear, keeps it secure. I've never lost anything, so it makes sense to me. Okay guys, after that I have some duct tape. Once again, securing things, starting fires, whatever I need it for, I got it there. Have some cash, guys. Cash in the backcountry. Cash in any place except the backcountry will get you out of a whole lot of problems. So, I go ahead and I recommend that try to have some spendable cash if you need it in an emergency. This here, guys, this is a celluloid. It's a plastic. It's thinner than a credit card, but it burns super easy. If you, grind that up or you make feather sticks on it or whatever. Once again, all this stuff pretty much, if you notice, shy of that cash, that's also alternative fire starting gear. After that, I got some super strong cord here. I don't even remember what they called it online, but it was just a super strong cord, as well as I've also got this one here, and this is just bank line. So I get a lot more bang for the buck on the other one, so it just makes sense to go ahead and have some good cordage with you. Okay guys, that's pretty much it, with the exception I've got an aqua pouch here from Survival Resources. I've got several of these. I've got just enough probably to always have one with me and no extras. As a matter of fact, Survival Resources went out of business. I wish somebody would start making these, something similar. But Denise over at Survival Resources, when they were closing out, she went ahead and sent me a couple extras that she found. So, I really appreciate the service they used to provide us before they went out of business. But these containers are top notch. They are better than any other bag that you're going to have for an emergency tin like this, guys. If you're using a condom, if you're using I can't remember the name of the other little plastic bags or Ziplocs or, anything like that. This thing is so tough. It's like a beef jerky bag, guys. And as well as it's got the grommets, it's got a 1 liter mark there. I just add my dirty water, to this thing and drop a purification tablet in it, I'm rocking. Okay, since I don't have extras of those, normally or not a bunch of them, I'll normally go ahead and have that one there, or one like that, and then I found these ones which are kind of similar. They don't have the grommets, but they're still real tough also. I went ahead and marked the line there. That's 1 liter at the top of it. If I'm just holding it, the water will kind of be there. If I set it on something, the water will settle to the bottom of the line. Either way, I know I've got about 1 liter of water there, and I will just go ahead and fill it up with water, drop a purification tap in there, and I'm in pretty good shape, guys. All right, after that, here's my tin. This is not an Altoids tin, guys. This is just a fraction of an inch, bigger. I think lengthwise it might be a tiny bit deeper, but it's still small enough. I can keep it in my pocket, in my jeans. I've worn it in my jeans for years before I ever got that little a pouch there to carry it in on my belt. Some jeans I'd wear out the pocket sooner than others. It's kind of like if anybody that carries the same stuff in their pockets all the time, you tend to start wearing through them hip pockets. So it's the same thing. It is a tiny bit bigger than an Altoids tin, but guys, it carries so much more gear and so much better quality gear that can really change your fortune in a short-term emergency. That to me, it's just a no-brainer. You can get tins similar to this on Amazon. The one that I'm actually holding here, I think this one came from like a little mini Connect 4 game from a little toy store. I saw it and I was like, that is the exact size of a tin I need. So I went ahead and bought that, and just took the game out, and I've spent way too much money for this tin. Here recently I've found them on Amazon, and you can get tins very similar to this for, I don't know, I think 10 and 12 of at a time, and they're really economical. Yeah, there we go. So I'll go ahead and I'll have one for me, try to have one for my wife, might have an extra after somebody who I love, who I think will carry it, then maybe I'll make it for one for them also. All right, guys, let's start working through what's in this thing, the meat and potatoes of it, and why this makes for awesome everyday carry. Okay, I did not tell you, these things do get bumped and banged and dinged up, and I've been through several of these tins kind of like this. So I've actually had to get in the creek before, and in an emergency had these in my pocket with everything else, all my other everyday carry gear, and you just roll with it. So they get bumped, they get banged, replace the things in them that need to be replaced, and keep on trucking. Okay, right there, guys, I've got just a little sail needle. Highly recommend having a good sail needle with you. After that, guys, have some purification tablets with you. How many purification tablets should you have to have? I don't know, as many as you need for your backcountry emergency. Anything's better than nothing. Historically, I try to have enough. If I have enough to keep me through 3 days, that's spectacular. If I've only got enough to keep me through, 2 days, that's okay. It's better than nothing. As a matter of fact, I think I need to put a couple of more in here. But yeah, needless to say, have some good purification tablets. You just drop them in your bag there. I keep a fishing line, guys. I am surrounded by water where I'm at, so it just makes sense to have fishing line, and I've got quite a bit of it. Normally I have whatever I'm going to need to, catch trout or, something like that in my area. You may or may not need fish and line in your area, but I'm just in an area where I'm going to be looking at fish potentially in an emergency, so it makes sense to have it. Here's some more. One thing I am going to do is I just dropped something that's kind of important to me. Let me see here if I can. This might get interesting. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I just dropped a little set of tweezers. Guys, I got bit by a tick several years ago, and it gave me a fever like you wouldn't believe. I had to be on 2 rounds of antibiotics, and after that, it's just one of those things where probably the biggest thing that scares me in these woods is not the moose or the bear or the lions or whatever the case it is. It's them ticks. So for that reason, I go ahead and I just choose to keep that with me. All right, after that, guys, let me see what this even is. Oh, okay, so these are some lures. I think it's probably normally some, Panther Martin or Mepps lures. So I'll go ahead and have what I need, so I can just get fishing if I should want to. Okay, after that, a small fire steel. And I say small, it's a full-size fire steel, guys. It's like the ones, probably like the Coglins or something you might have. It just doesn't have the plastic on there, and so I'll keep that with me. So I've got a full-size spark rod. All right, after that, this, guys, is beautiful. So I'll go ahead and show you that. This is an old school Camillus single blade pocket knife. Why am I carrying a single blade pocket knife? Well, because it's really small for this tin, and it gives me the ability to carry other stuff. Guys, I normally have a Leatherman with me. I've normally got a fixed blade with me. So you might as well have just a really good looking gentleman's knife in your tin, and in an emergency, it'll take care of any wood task that I need. So this is just intended to be a completely self-contained kit, guys. This is if I have absolutely nothing on me but the clothes on my back. If I have this tin with me, I am probably in pretty good shape during a short-term backcountry emergency. And most likely I'm also going to have my everyday carry type gear. So anyway, that's why I don't go too crazy on that knife. After that, guys, I do have Streamlight Nano little flashlight. Teeny, but it gets the job done. So, my EDC, I've normally got a good flashlight or two. That's just the backup. Everybody always asks me, where's your Bic lighter? There it is, guys. So I have the mini Bic lighter as well. So, yeah. I've got some pretty good fire starting gear there. I don't know if you're noticing. I've got a full-size spark rod. I've got a Bic lighter. I've got all the tinder you could ask for. And I'm going to go ahead and start taking a bunch of this tinder out also. Let me see here. I got a bunch of it, guys. But, there's some of those little tinder quick type tabs. I've got some stuff that is in little waterproof plastic straws where it's, cotton balls and Vaseline. So I've got that also. I've got great tinder, a great method of starting fires, guys. Okay, after that, why do I like this as opposed to an Altoids tin? Guys, because if you look right there, I have a Aquamira Frontier water filter. So, right there, let me see here. I've got I cut down the straw so it fits in my tin, and that means I've got purification tablets and purification filter in a backcountry emergency. It's really geared towards, like I say, a backcountry environment. You know, I wouldn't really prefer to have to use that water filter in an urban setting, but it's so small that I can always have it on me. So that little tiny filter is better than, you know, the bigger, better filter that I have. You know, I've got a Grail in the house. I love it. I carry it with me everywhere. You know, if I'm traveling around, I take it. But that's with me. That's in my pocket. It's not in my car. It's not in the house, whatever the case is. So, you know, the best part about everyday carry is having good kit with you when you need it, guys. The most important part, I guess I should say. Okay. This is a bunch of fishing hooks, guys. One thing I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if something's important to you, have plenty of it. You know, and I don't care whether it's tinder, it's fishing hooks, it's cord. If it's cash, hey guys, if you see value in something, have as much with you as you can in an emergency, because it's going to go a long way in, you know, helping you through some of the bumps that you're going to have to deal with along the way. Here's some more of those tinder that I was talking about. So I've got stuff there that's, you know, completely waterproof, but I've got more than enough tinder to get me going there. Then I've also got more purification tabs, guys. You know, I'll put as many in there as I can kind of get away with. So there you have that. I have a little mini, yeah, we're in good shape. I have a mini button compass. Are they the best compasses on the planet? No, guys, they're not. But they're something that you can have with you in an emergency. So if you have one in this kit, and, you know, a lot of times, historically, I've kept one, you know, on my keychain, you know, in any day bag that I'm carrying, whatever the case is. Okay, so I've got water purification taken care of. I've got good cutting tools taken care of. I've got fire starting gear taken care of. I think if you actually look at your 10Cs, guys, I've got everything with the exception, let me see, cutter, combustion, cordage, container. I don't have a metal container, but I can still purify my water. And a cover component. This is just your little Mylar foil blanket. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. That's just good for waterproofing something, guys, so I can get out of the, you know, rain over, you know, if I have to. It'll help me waterproof handmade structure. One thing I do, guys, almost all the time, I have a little coat pocket kit with me normally. So if, you know, in my area, it's normally pretty cold throughout most of the year or a lot of the year, I'll just go ahead and have, you know, maybe a small tarp in my pocket, or, you know, a small poncho and a tarp, as well as, you know, the other things, the gloves and the hat and all that good stuff. But, you know, so if I'm dressed appropriately, you know, hopefully I'll have a little pocket tarp with me, and I've got that gear. I'm in better shape to get through a short-term emergency. And this is just really intended, guys, so I can go now, or whatever position I find myself in. I've got usable gear with me now. You know, it's not back in the truck. It's not at the house. It's not the super cool gear I wish I would have had. This is everyday life stuff that I have with me. Takes up a little bit of space, but, you know, I'd rather be a little bit uncomfortable and have incredible gear with me during an emergency, you know, that once in a lifetime kind of thing. You know, kind of have more stuff than I probably need on a day-to-day, 364 days a year. But, you know, when you need it that one time, you know, well, that's great kit, guys. So I recommend you go ahead and have something like it. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for taking time to visit with me. Guys, if you think this video would be helpful to somebody to keep them safer, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the like button. I want other people to see it, because I think other people, you know, will be safer if they have something like this. and I want it to get to as many people as I can. If you found value in this, go ahead and maybe consider subscribing. Thank you for your time, for visiting with me. I really appreciate the fact that you hung out with me instead of doing whatever else you were going to do this evening. Thanks a lot. Be blessed. Have a great night. Bye-bye.